or package engages. And it just feels like a lot of comfort here for Liiv Sandbox. Kind of a weird path we took to get to this point, but ultimately, Liiv Sandbox still have great poke. They have really good disengage. My biggest issue here for Liiv Sandbox is that the bottom lane isn't going to go well, and now this Jace on the top side can be a weak point that Owner exploits.
Could be, and I think it almost has to be, because otherwise the Scion will just get bullied in the early levels, and if Bertel gets off to a good start, picks up a few of these plates as well, the Jace in the mid game becomes a huge problem for T1 to deal with. Yeah, T1 have pretty amazing front-to-back team fighting, right, with Scion in that front line, standing in front of both the Corki and the Caitlyn. It's sort of your perfect spread of damage, right, with a lot of DPS in both magic and physical.
I think if...
Do cool kids actually never panic?
Right? I don't think they do. Not these cool kids. As
Not looking like it so far.
Looking like we're going to see some turret gold picked up here on the bottom side. As Wither and Closer just trying to get some additional information here about the pathing of this Sejuani. Drop a ward. There are some counterplay options here if you can hit some really nice arrows. Probably not going to be happening for a little while here.
And of course, a lot of it depends on how these initial skills work and land, right? As Piercing Arrow going to hit 2 out of 2. 1 out of 2 for Keria on this Loosened Singularity. And T1 will still get the shove. As Gumayusi able to leverage that range very, very nicely. We'll see how Liiv Sandbox are going to be able to play this, because I think that this is T1 settling themselves and realizing that they're not going to be able to roll over the top. Being put on the ground in this bottom lane, it's very cluttered, you know? A lot of clutter. But otherwise, not too much to be worried about. As Envy, nice little trade. As Willa gets over the wall, spots Owner out immediately. Winter's Wrath not going to land, but the Arctic Assault is going to be there. Now, the attack continues. Envy moving forward. They look for Gumayusi, who takes a lot of damage, but Envy, he hasn't even flashed yet. Is he going to? Yeah, he does finally. And now that is a dead Varus. Really beautifully done from Keria. Picks up first blood. I thought Kyle was going to die there, but nope. T1 should be able to move over, collect themselves this first Hextech Drake. We'll see what the next one's going to be. It's going to be a Cloud. So Infernal on the table, Mountain on the table, Ocean or the Chemtech.
Yeah.
So a 50-50.
50-50 on the big ones.
Yeah.
Closer here does have ult and flash. Looks like he wants to try to bait something here before this Rift Herald fight. This is very risky.
Yeah, there's the Glacial Prison, and Closer should just die. Emperor's Divide comes down, and they just head into that one for a bit of fun. And Liiv Sandbox, because of that, cannot commit to this Rift Herald.
Yeah, not at all. And
Zeus takes like 0 damage from the Empowered Shock Blast as well.
Kind of wild that now we've seen 2 crazy attempted weird plays from Liiv Sandbox. Envy's bottom side there where he moves forward, and now Closer with flash and ult, mind you, just kind of trying to hold this choke forward here.
Well, we're going to see another play as into the top lane comes Owner, and Permafrost is going to hit onto Bertel. He does have flash available, but he realizes that he's just dead anyway. And now there is a Rift Herald available, not even going to be put down on this top side, as T1 are in such a powerful position. I mean, that's the Iron Spike Whip's fault.
No.
It's okay. Sometimes cooking is great, sometimes cooking is not so great. We'll see how Bertel's actually going to go here as Samalcove Gaming for the Scion. Pretty large. It's pretty amazing that a Scion can hide in those brushes.
Yeah, can we make it viral? Like Woody like grabs Bertel and he's like, "Hold up, you bought the wrong item." We might want to undo that one.
Yeah, I think so. As Owner's going to come in, Will is here as well, but they are very far behind. Bertel going to be the first one to flash away. Oh, the knockoff is so good, but unfortunately, it's not good enough. Zeus can just keep charging these, and he's got another Soul Furnace. That's going to be the double. Owner here just in the nick of time.
And, I mean, okay, hold up, Faker.
Another delivery to the turret, as Faker has a lot of Sand Soldiers to contend with. Closer trying to set up for this one, has Leandri's. Oh, the last auto's not going to be there.
Doesn't flash for it.
Okay, well, Keria's just going to throw a full combo into Closer, and he sets up for it. Even Bard going to come through as Gumayusi has the ace in the hole.
How do you go from, you know, a bit of an unusual draft, let's say, where you run the Asuo, you have a rough early game, things fall apart, you all in several times and just get totally slapped down into the most confident game of all time. I don't know. Envy, you sidestep this when you might be dead anyways.
Well, the flash comes in. Great light binding is going to connect, though, as Kyle is going to get taken down. Gumayusi is all over the place right now on this Caitlyn, most mobile champion in the universe, apparently. As T1 are going to look for the second Drake. Faker's going to help lock that one down. They are just transitioning into like all of the good things into more good things.
Yeah.
Spike, but it's there. We do have the second Herald now going down. Willa lying in wait. Liiv SANDBOX. Can you find an avenue to do battle here? As one Lucent Singularity is enough to zone them out. Okay, Envy. Another cleanse is going to come through. It's a decent Cyclone by Willa as Gumayusi's in an awkward spot. The Emperor's Divide is going to pick him up, but it's a trade for 2 already. That light binding was so sick. As Keria's like, you got POG, Kyle? Where's mine? As I think he might be able to get at this game. Zeus is going to pick up another kill on his opposite number. The Gore Drinker, unfortunately, not doing what it needs to, as Shirley is now going to get the attention she deserves. And unfortunately, Gumayusi died, and so no perfect game.
No perfect game, rip the perfect game, but the team fight setup there for Liiv SANDBOX was super all-in. I like the concept of it, because this game is surely doomed, right? If you don't actually win a team fight like this, where you have one opportunity for a teleport flank, maybe you get the big Emperor's Divide, the game is doomed now, for sure. And it was doomed before this, but Willer sets up the Cyclone. The timing of the collapse here is a little bit off because the teleport comes through so late for closure that he can't use the Cyclone except for Emperor's Divide. And then watch Keria with this binding. 1, 2. It just, everything is going right for T1. They're all playing and hitting those spikes beautifully. They have the advantages here in these fights. And one heroic attempt from closer with the TP there and the Cyclone flank doesn't come up big. If it does, maybe. A little bit surprised he was allowed to play it in game 2, but you don't want to give Owner the Elise.
Yep. Certainly like a few things that you have to ban right now is Willa going to be cycloning, but look at this. Keria's just keeping them in position alongside Owner. Envy in a bunch of trouble as well. Just look at all of the damage raining in from everywhere. It's a double kill for Gumayusi's angry about dying earlier on as Faker's flashing, lands the blind rocket into closer. That was a solo kill.
It's a dent into the turret. Objective bounties are in the game now, and as Willer here, you're like, okay, I got my team coming. He charged into me. The audacity. I'm going to Cyclone. I've got the Chains of Corruption follow-up. The sidestep is real here for Owner. He's too tanky. And Keria plays this so beautifully. Sets up another double root.
Yeah, it's double light binding. I mean, the first one was a light binding of 2 Wukong, so I guess it's a single, but you still take those. His Lux play has been absolutely fantastic. Honestly, T1 just won this game.
With his crown, obviously he can be up more in the thick of things into, okay.
Okay, Ace in the hole gets the kill. That's another one. Keria sets him up, and Gumayusi spikes him down. They're just playing volleyball, man.
You could be up in the thick of things with the crown doing stuff like this, but he could also be in the face of a cycloning Wukong. He could be in the face of an engaging Azir and shut those down, as now he can help clear this vision here onto the Baron. And, I mean, he's not afraid of anything. He's like, I'm looking for another light binding. Where are you guys coming? You guys trying to walk through here?
Well, Willa, he has stolen these before, as Owner says, well, we're not going to let you. Jace going to go down first, as closer. Can we actually fight this, Liiv SANDBOX? Can you fight this 3 versus 5? And the answer is you won't have to. As T1, they're not going to push it. Not wanting to risk the Willa steal, which I think is a very good respect to pay.
The respect is paid, but there's still so much. There's control wards everywhere else. There's just no vision. They're playing totally blind. Okay, this is going to be a long con flank.
Yeah, and he's moving up as Closer doesn't find the Emperor's Divide. Bertle trying to make his way in. Closer goes golden as now Envy has to deal with Owner. Zeus is going to move in as well. Can he find it is the question as Faker will go down. Maybe he does die in his 800th game, but I don't think he's going to lose. Light Binding will connect onto Bertle, who dives on in. Does have to make his way out though, as the Warrior Trickster clone is going to be taken out. And now the flanking Gumayusi, absolutely terrifying, as Willa absolutely nowhere to go. And there it is, the final headshot will come through. And there is the ace for T1.
Ace for T1, ace in the hole. Goomba just gonna 1v1 a turret, doesn't care. That one goes down. And
I like how it almost sounded like he said Goomba, because he's kind of doing that.
He is definitely Goombaing.
He's Goombaing quite a lot.
He is
game.
he is the shell that slides through all of Liiv Sandbox and gets a 1-up at the end.
Yeah, I think so.
As closer here, Emperor's Divide totally misses as Faker plays the flash well. Awkward timing here for Keria, but they still get the kill onto the Azir, and then this long con flank I was talking about with Birdall does succeed in that it helps kill Faker here, but the longer fight is just lost. Guma wasn't here the whole time. He's like, oh, okay, you guys need my help. All right, fine. I'll kill the stragglers. I'll lock them down as these traps do not connect. Willer comes at him for a second, and he's like, oh, it's just
like, where am I supposed to walk, man? Had all of his traps ready. They are able to take it down. And remember, like, T1 so incredibly far ahead at this point in time. It was very difficult for them to lose that fight. Faker does go down, but 1 kill, not going to be the end of the world. There's a package delivery as Faker will go golden. What the heck is that package damage? That's 2 kills from just package Valkyrie combo. It's revolting. Emperor's Divide going to be used onto Ona as the Q from Zeus doesn't land, but look at how tanky these boys are. They are just not taking any damage whatsoever.
It's the messiest ace, or the fastest and like, just bloodthirstiest ace I've ever seen. I mean, 20,000 gold. 20,000 gold. Does feel like if you watched the D+ versus Liiv Sandbox series and then you fell asleep and just woke up and watched this one, you'd be like, oh man, nothing has changed. I think that 6-2 might be a typo in the top right. This game is arguably more one-sided than the last one early on this season. T1 bringing it to a 3rd game. Not much to see here.
No, absolutely not.
Oh!
They're trying to make us forget game 1 just a little bit, as now they're going to go for some kills. Willer in the bouncy castle as Birdall dives on top, manages to take down Keria, but the Nexus will fall as well, and a big grin on Faker's face, as you can see. T1 clapping back there in game 2, and now this game 3. Side selection will switch back over to Liiv Sandbox. We'll see what's going to come of it.